Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and I'm an expert in being myself. I love sharing my perspectives, opinions, experience, advice. Very happy when you ask me questions that I can answer, because I've done a lot. I've had many roles in my life, and I'm very happy to fulfill this role for you, whatever that role happens to be. While streaming live on Twitch, which I'm doing right now, shooting this effectively live and then clipping it out for YouTube. Someone who goes by the handle Ectoplasms asked me a question, and as I've said, I would elevate the questions asked by the community because effectively I'm giving you exactly what you're looking for rather than me guessing. So this person asked, I'm a year into working at Microsoft, but I can technically make more money by myself. Is money the only thing that matters? Can I gain something else in Microsoft that I can't go alone? So what else is beneficial there? The networking, the career ladder, and so on. Let me go ahead and say that you can get more Star Wars figures the more money you make. It's true, right? I know they say that money can't buy happiness. Well, it depends on what brings you that happiness. What brings you that feeling of contentedness, like you've achieved something. And money could very well be the thing that does that for you. And when that happens, then you know the availability of funds to do or get the things that you want, your life may very well be fulfilled. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be everything and the only thing. Because you say, is that the only thing that matters? And to that question, I would say, no, it isn't. No matter where you're at, it doesn't matter. Money matters to pay the bills, to live within your means, and certainly to hold back, right? You know, save for a rainy day. You may want to save some for retirement and investment, and you know, you'd be gambling on that because you never know what's going to happen with investments. That's what makes them kind of a gamble, calculated gamble, certainly. Not quite like playing the lottery, but in many cases, it depends how savvy you are with the money that you do bring in. But money is not the only thing that matters. The thing that matters most in terms of your job, in terms of your career, is whether or not you are engaged, whether or not you are experiencing an opportunity that drives you, that keeps you excited, keeps you interested, keeps you active. And if you're not, then, man, getting through the day is a drag. You're always checking your watch if you're wearing one, always watching the clock if it's on the wall, looking for any opportunity to not do the thing that you were assigned to do. So the thing that matters in those moments isn't the money, because you're going to get paid for the job that you do. That's generally what happens. And I'm sure you'll be satisfied come payday when all that work that you've done, the time that you've put in, comes back. And then you take that money and you do with it whatever you care to do. But if money was the only thing that mattered, I think you're going to find yourself living a very long life. Different things matter, how should I say this? What matters to me may not matter to you. But what I'm saying is you have to answer that question. If money is your main motivator, then you're going to do anything and everything to achieve whatever rate you believe you are worth. And that's the rate you should be getting compensated. Like that's you should be getting exactly what you're worth. I don't know what you're worth. Only you can really tell us what you're worth. What you believe you're worth based upon X variables. Money may be that thing. But if you're asking me if money is the only thing that matters, my answer definitively is absolutely not. And I'm not saying your happiness matters. Because, you know, sometimes work is work. And sometimes a job is a chore. But if it's not something that really kind of just kicks you off and keeps you going, then I would say you need to find a job, a career, a role, a position that matters. And it may very well be that, and this, forget where you work now. It may not be the role, but it could be the role at one company or another. You could have the same role at one company and be miserable, but the same role in another company and be on cloud 9, elated. So you have to decide that for yourself. It's not money being the only thing that matters. Money is going to get you the things that matter, because money in and of itself is it's money, right? And maybe you're Scrooge McDuck, I don't know. But like I said, you know, the more money you make, the more Star Wars figures you could buy. Don't get me wrong, I do not blow our entire budget on Star Wars figures. I also get fun cereals and Lego sets. It's not money being the only thing that matters. It's what money does for you that matters. So what does money do for you? What does it do for you? Focus on that. And then figure out how much you're going to need to earn over a period of time to accrue, to build, to effectively have your nest egg and create that, so that you can better address that which matters to you most. And what matters to you now may not be the thing that matters to you 10 years from now. But I can tell you this, I mean, you certainly want to make sure you're earning a living. Live within your means. So do you understand how I'm looking at that question? Not with money being the end-all be-all, but money being the gateway to whatever your end-all be-all is. I'm not even sure what my end-all be-all is. I don't know. I never, in a million years, ever thought I'd retire. That was when I began in 1996 with Locker Gnome. I had no idea. It was foreign to me. Didn't have any idea. Didn't really care. Well, now I'm, encroaching upon 50, and I'm doing things with my life and my career that I never thought I would do, but not in a bad way, kind of in a happy way. I'm like, wow, this is different. It's unique. I don't think that it's a detriment to me enjoying life. It's not taking away from the things that matter to me. So my career path today, while different from what it was, is still set where I believe it needs to be set for today. And then as it plays out in the future, I really don't know. All I'm doing is preparing for inevitabilities and eventualities, for things that matter, because I will not want to work full-time, up and until the day I die. I don't want to do that. What'll I do in retirement? I don't know. Never thought of it. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be creating content. I'm going to be sitting in front of a camera and live streaming. So what you're seeing, you're watching me. This is my retirement. This is what I'm going to do, because I love doing it. I love talking to people. I love sharing my perspectives. I love doing this. I've always loved doing this. I probably should not have gotten club soda, though, because it's got bubbles, and then I get burpy. So if that comes out, I apologize. I'll be doing that in retirement, too. More club soda. Could you gain something else there that you can't get alone? Yeah, you can. Structure, discipline, learning what it's like to work on a team, and be a part of something bigger than yourself. And that's probably the biggest benefit to working for any company that values you as a member. And I don't just mean a member they can just throw away like a tissue. I mean like a valid member of the team that's pushing forth certain goals so that the team can achieve some level of success together. It's about that shared experience. So yeah, I think that's very beneficial. I very much appreciate having been alone, right? Having been I'm still an entrepreneur, but having just been that, I understand the stresses and strains, and I don't have those stresses and strains working on a team, especially with people who have deeper knowledge than I do about things that have nothing to do with our respective roles. Like, I love gaining experience from other people, getting perspective from other people. I synthesize that. I soak it up like a sponge. So yeah, that's something huge to benefit to benefit you that you're not going to get going at it alone. Could you make more if you went alone? Sure. Is that what you want? Okay. But you'll be missing out potentially on other opportunities. And I'm not saying one is better than the other, because I'm not sure I have the answer to that question. I can't tell you. I can tell you I had different stresses back then than I do now. Different stresses doesn't mean one is better than the other. I had certain freedoms that I experienced as an independent entrepreneur for 25 years that I don't have now, but I have certain freedoms that have been afforded me from doing what I'm doing now that I didn't have before. So it's always a series of trade-offs, and maybe it comes down to making a positives and negatives list, because that's always going to be relative. I can't tell you what's valuable to you. Only you can tell you what's valuable to you. But if the question is, could you gain something else? If you're asking that question like you can't see it, or that you can't see the value in doing that. And I'm telling you, there's immense value, because when you learn to work with other people in that type of environment, in a work environment, a healthy environment, a team environment where everybody pulls their own weight, you can go at it alone, but you'll realize everything that you miss. You'll gain certain benefits by going alone, but you'll be missing other things that you learn to rely upon because they were reliable, if they were reliable for you. And that's, I mean, again, it's going to be a series of trade-offs. It's also going to give you skills that you won't be able to develop on your own. And those skills could very well translate that, if and when you do decide to go independent. Like I said, I don't know what my future holds. I really don't. I have a great many interests. I'm very engaged right now with what I'm doing in my career, like deeply engaged, excitedly so. So I don't want things to change. I want to continue to face challenges and enjoy the work that I do and the fruits of my labor. I've learned this for me. When you say, is money the only thing that matters? What matters to me is that I see the fruits of my labor. And this is one of the reasons why being a creator has been fulfilling for me. It's not just the act of creating, because I put it out there, right? I feel like I've done it. I enjoy seeing something produced and seeing people react to whatever is done. I enjoy that. And so I've learned that about myself, and I don't know if I would have known that had I not taken the path of working on a team greater than myself for everything that I've done. The biggest value to me is that I feel I'm making an impact, no matter what. And I didn't have that insight before I went to work on or with a team. What's beneficial there? The networking, the career ladder. Yes. You're going to meet people. You're going to make connections. You're going to do that independently too. Don't mishear me. But there are, depending on where you work, hundreds, if not thousands of people that you may end up developing potentially lifelong relationships, or certainly career-long relationships with good people. I'm not saying they're all good. It's that they are in their position because they went through the same process you went through to get their role. So you're all in the same, well, maybe the same virtual type of field, depending on seniority or whatnot. But they share that with you. When you're independent, there are other independent people out there, but independent is all over the place. There's no one type of independent or an individual entrepreneur. So don't think that you have to be there forever. If that's where you're at now and you enjoy it, you look forward to it, then I'd say ride it all the way through, like as far as you want. It's not about climbing the career ladder. I don't have that in my mind. That's not what's interesting to me. It really isn't. I never got caught up, never have been caught up in fancy titles. I know. Would it be nice to be a VP? Sure. President, I was that, for my little tiny company, but it worked. Even my little tiny company got me as far as I got, and I got a lot further than a lot of y'all know. So I'm very happy that I have options and opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise. And part of that may very well be, finding something that maybe brings me a deeper level of fulfillment inside a company. Or it could be that I discover, I've run this all the way out. I don't feel like I have anything more to contribute. My energy is not in this anymore. And I may say that at some point in the future, in some future role. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. Industries change fast. Year over year, month over month sometimes. So it's knowing that I'm making those relationships, and I made relationships independent of working at one place or another, that could always benefit me going either direction. It's not necessarily an all or nothing thing. You're not signing it. You're not signing your name in blood that you're going to work wherever for the rest of your life. It probably won't work that way anyway. You have the option and the opportunity to do what you want to do to bring you the greatest degree of fulfillment within the freedoms that you have the right to exercise. And so it all depends on what you want. You have to ask that question to yourself. Not to me, to yourself. Because I can't answer that. What do you want? You tell me what you want, and you've given yourself the answer. Don't write it off. I wouldn't write it off. I'd ride it all the way as far as you can possibly take it before you realize, I want to try something different. So money's not the only thing that matters. Your fulfillment is what matters. I'm not saying happiness necessarily. Happiness gets thrown in there, but something that gets you going, something that energizes you, something that interests you, keeps you engaged. And I wish you luck. I wish everybody luck. But hopefully that gave you a little bit more insights. You may already know the answer to your own question, at which point I'd say listen to that voice in your head. If it's telling you what to do, don't look to me to give you the excuse you want. You got to give that to yourself. You got to do the thing that you need to do for you, because I don't have to walk your path. I don't have to spend. I'm not in your position. I don't want the role that you have necessarily. Maybe I do. I don't know. But I would say be true to yourself, and then I think you will find that's the thing that matters.